Hello everyone! Welcome back to the Drawn by Annie channel. This is me, Annie, and I'm very glad to see you back with me again. Grab your tea, coffee and snacks and let's dive into today's video. So I started this series where I was drawing characters from my test party of the world development that is going on right now. Today I wanted to introduce one of the last drawings and characters that are most active on the story. So today it's not a PC, it's an NPC actually, but sometimes she feels like she is a PC character because of how often she hangs out around the party and how often people are using her services, let's say, and knowledge. You might have seen her before on my channel. It's Agata. I made a bigger drawing of her and talked more about of her background in that video, so if you want to check that out, it's on my channel. For today's drawing, I'm going to use minimum of art supplies because the drawing is pretty simple and the sketchbook format is also very small. So this is just for, let's say, a profile picture of Agata in a character sheet that I'm going to prepare for myself, where I will be leaving some notes and statistics for the game because, yeah, I need to keep my GM notes just in case I need to refer back to them. So as usual, I'm going to make a pencil sketch with my HB pencil that you can see pre-made already. And then I'm going to line it out with my fine liners and add some details on the background with acrylic paint pens. And on the eyes, I'm going to land some alcohol-based markers for the eye color. So yeah, today's art is not super detailed or super complicated, it's just a little facey of an expression that Agata often has during the campaign. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of practice my line art because you have to use your skills often not to forget them. That's, you know, with any skill, if you stop using it, it will eventually worsen because of the neuron paths in your brain. They will just weaken. So yeah, let's practice some line arts today. So for a very long time I've been using fine liners only with fine tip but with different thickness, you know, like 005, 003, very thin ones, and the rest also like 01, 02, 03 and up until 08. But then I discovered the brush pens. I haven't really used brush pens for my line art ever, but you know, when I'm browsing through social media looking for other artists and looking for some tips, maybe tutorials or inspiration, I saw some of the artists use brush liners for their art and for their line art specifically. I decided to try it for myself, so I bought myself some brush pens. These were alcohol based also, but with brush tip, and you know, I really liked it, but it was so much different from fine tip. So since then I've been implementing brush pens more and more here and there. Like first it was line art, then some coloring, and it felt very nice to try out something new like that, because as much as I can remember myself, I haven't really painted or used brushes in my life or in, you know, art journey. So I decided to fix this in my adulthood already, in my later art journey steps, and I've been enjoying using them a lot because even though fine liners give you much better control of the line thickness, for example, you get to choose very precisely, almost like digital art, where you can put more weight to your lines. With brush pens, it can also be variable depending on how much you push on your brush, but it can only do so much. Like if you're trying to do very thin line with a brush pen, at least with the ones that I'm using, it can be very challenging to make a straight line without it being so wobbly, you know, because you have to be very soft and gentle not to push it at all. Like you literally have to be right above the paper for the brush pen to be very thin. So it's been a nice exercise to have a control over your line art. So for those who are trying to improve their line arts, I would suggest a little tip from my experience. You can use different liners and also brush pens. Just, for the exercise, it's like when we're learning to write in a school or like preschool. You're just trying out to write different letters like over and over again to practice it. That would be a nice idea to implement into art as well. Generally, the more you use certain medium, the better you become at it. So one thing that worked very, very well for me is to enjoy the whole process. Like, I like to draw, and it doesn't really matter how the drawing comes out in the end, because I enjoy the process itself, the way that the pencils or pens scribble on the paper and how colors are so nicely going inside, like the pigment goes inside the paper. I don't know, I just like the whole process, every piece of it, especially line art. I've seen some artists say that they hate line art part, but for me it's the most enjoyable one. I don't know, it's just if I'm putting the colors, especially before the line art, it looks very ugly or like very weird to me, at least because the way I used coloring. I see some artists are using colors very cleanly, and the color change kind of, their technique is just much better than mine, because I didn't study in any art school and it's still challenging for me to choose right value. By the way, if you have any tips to improve that, I would appreciate them if you could leave them in the comments. But I usually use same value colors, so it can be challenging for the eye to see, where the change is. So line art for me kind of puts the whole thing together. I've been using black fine liners for a long time, so my eye is just trained to see the art like that, if that makes sense. Maybe also because I read a lot of manga and there is no coloring whatsoever. There is also barely any shading. But there are other techniques that mangakas are using to, give volume to their art. So with these arts, I'm aiming to practice my line art with heaviness in the lines to kind of have the minimum tools on my hand, so I can be more creative with the tools to still achieve the look that I want. Like, I don't know, for me, line art is the whole new world of techniques and the ways to give some special twist to your art, and I've been using line art as such tool for a long time, and these little series really helped me to analyze and reflect on those tools so I can be more aware when using them. So here is the finished drawing. I hope you like it. It was a really nice exercise for me, and in the next video there will be a last portrait from this series, so stay tuned up for that. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you like my work, hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate all of your support. Please don't forget to wash your cup, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!